Best PG-13 movies to watch on this Halloween with your family. 1. Lights Out. When Teresa Palmer left home, she thought that her childhood fears were behind her. As a young girl growing up, she was never really sure of what was real when the lights went out at night. Now, her little brother Gabriel Bateman is experiencing the same unexplained and terrifying events that jeopardized her safety and sanity. 2. Devil. Five Strangers Day begins with an elevator ride in a Philadelphia office tower. But what happens next is anything but ordinary. The elevator gets stuck, and the trapped passengers, who expected to be together just a few minutes, now face the revelation of their secrets and transgressions. 3. 1408. John Cusack is a successful author who enjoys worldwide acclaim debunking supernatural phenomena before he checks into the Dolphin Hotel, that is. Ignoring the warnings of the hotel manager, Samuel L. Jackson, he learns the meaning of real terror when he spends the night in a reputedly haunted room. 4. The Grudge. A detective investigates a murder scene that has a connection to a case that her new partner handled in the past. The killings occurred in a haunted house that passes on a ghostly curse to those who dare enter it. Soon, the curse spreads to a terminally ill woman and her husband, and another unsuspecting couple who were in the wrong place at the wrong time. If you enjoyed the video, then please do not forget to hit like, let us know which one is your favorite horror movie, and subscribe to our channel. See you next time.
Top 10 horror movies on Netflix. 1. Incantation. 6 years ago, Lee Ronan is cursed after breaking a religious taboo. Now, she must protect her daughter from the consequences of her actions. 2. The Ritual. Reuniting after the tragic death of their friend, 4 college pals set out to hike through the Scandinavian wilderness. A wrong turn leads them into the mysterious forests of Norse legend, where an ancient evil exists and stalks them at every turn. 3. Incident in the Ghostland. 16 years after a traumatic event, a mother and 2 daughters reunite at the house where it happened, and that's when things get strange. 4. Raw. Stringent vegetarian Justine, Garance Marelier, encounters a decadent, merciless and dangerously seductive world during her first week at veterinary school. Desperate to fit in, she strays from her principles and eats raw meat for the first time. The young woman soon experiences terrible and unexpected consequences as her true self begins to emerge. 5. The Green Inferno. New York college student Justine, Lorenza Izzo, a lawyer's daughter, meets a student activist named Alejandro Levy when he goes on a hunger strike on behalf of underpaid janitors. Smitten, Justine agrees to help Alejandro undertake his next project, to save the Amazon. She soon learns to regret her decision when their plane crashes in the Peruvian jungle, and she and the rest of their group are taken captive by a tribe of hungry cannibals. 6. Gerald's Game. The woman accidentally kills her husband during a kinky game. Handcuffed to her bed with no hope of rescue, she begins hearing voices and seeing strange visions. 7. Veronica. The teen girl finds herself besieged by an evil supernatural force after playing Ouija with 2 classmates. 8. Cadaver. In the starving aftermath of a nuclear disaster, a family accepts a charitable offer, which turns into a sinister game. 9. The Perfection. The troubled musical prodigy and a new star pupil embark down a sinister path. 10. No One Gets Out Alive. Desperate and without documentation, a woman from Mexico moves into a rundown Cleveland boarding house. Then the unsettling cries and eerie visions begin. If you enjoyed the video, then please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe the channel.
If you love horror movie genre, then this video is a treat for you. Psychological horror genre is one of the creepiest sub-horror genre. Best psychological horrors movies. 1. Orphan, released in 2009. Devastated by the loss of their unborn baby, Kate, Vera Farmiga, and John, Peter Sarsgaard, decide to adopt a child. At the orphanage, both feel drawn to a little girl, Isabel Furman, named Esther, and soon the couple take their new daughter home. But when a dangerous series of events unfolds, Kate begins to suspect that there is something evil lurking behind the child's angelic exterior. 2. The Perfection, released in 2018. The Perfection is a 2018 American psychological horror thriller film directed by Richard Shepard, from a screenplay by Shepard, Nicole Snyder and Eric C. Charmello. It stars Allison Williams, Logan Browning, and Steven Weber. 3. Mother, released in 2019. A young woman spends her days renovating the Victorian mansion that she lives in with her husband in the countryside, when a stranger knocks on the door one night. he becomes an unexpected guest in their home. Later, his wife and 2 children also arrive to make themselves welcome. Terror soon strikes when the beleaguered wife tries to figure out why her husband is so seemingly friendly and accommodating to everyone but her. 4. Hereditary, released in 2018. When the matriarch of the Graham family passes away, her daughter and grandchildren begin to unravel cryptic and increasingly terrifying secrets about their ancestry, trying to outrun the sinister fate they have inherited. 5. The Night House, released in 2020. Reeling from the unexpected death of her husband, Beth Rebecca Hall is left alone in the lakeside home he built for her. She tries as best she can to keep it together, but then nightmares come. Disturbing visions of a presence in the house calling to her, beckoning her with a ghostly allure. Against the advice of her friends, she begins digging into her husband's belongings, yearning for answers. What she finds are secrets both strange and disturbing, a mystery she's determined to unravel. If you enjoyed the video, then don't forget to hit like and subscribe to our channel. Top 4 horror movies that will blow your mind. You must watch them at least once. 1. Triangle, released in 2009. Yacht passengers encounter mysterious weather conditions that force them to jump onto another ship, only to have the odd havoc increase. 2. A Tale of Two Sisters, released in 2003. After being institutionalized in a mental hospital, Korean teen Soo-mi reunites with her beloved sister, Soo-yeon, and they return to live at their country home. The girl's widower father has remarried, and the siblings are immediately resentful of his new wife, Yoonju. As Soo-mi and Soo-yeon try to resume their regular lives, strange events plague the house, leading to surprising revelations and a shocking conclusion. 3. Incident in a Ghostland, released in 2018. 16 years after a traumatic event, a mother and 2 daughters reunite at the house where it happened, and that's when things get strange. 4. Old Boy, released in 2003. Dae-soo is an obnoxious drunk bailed from the police station yet again by a friend. However, he's abducted from the street and wakes up in a cell, where he remains for the next 15 years. Drugged unconscious when human contact is unavoidable, otherwise with only the television as company, and then, suddenly released, he is invited to track down his jailer with a denouement that is simply stunning. If you enjoyed the video, then don't forget to hit like and subscribe to our channel. 3 movies to never watch with your family. These movies include graphic nudity, sexual content, and strong language. Viewers' discretion strongly advised. 1. 365 Days, released in 2020. In order to save her relationship from falling apart, a woman goes to Sicily, where she meets a dangerous man named Massimo. Massimo is a member of the Sicilian mafia family, and Laura is a sales director. She does not expect that on a trip to Sicily trying to save her relationship, Massimo will kidnap her and give her 365 days to fall in love with him. 2. Knock Knock. 2 nubile, stranded women, Ana de Armas, Lorenza Izzo, reveal a sinister agenda after they spend the night with a married architect, Keanu Reeves. Evan, a dedicated father and husband, opens his house to Genesis and Belle, 2 women who claim to be stranded. Things take a turn for the worse when they each begin to seduce him. 3. Lady Chatterley's Lover. Marrying Sir Clifford Chatterley, Connie's life of wealth and privilege seems set as she takes the title of Lady Chatterley. Yet this idealistic union gradually becomes an incarceration when Clifford returns from the First World War, with injuries that have left him unable to walk. When she meets and falls for Oliver Mellors, the gamekeeper on the Chatterley family estate, their secret trysts lead her to a sensual, sexual awakening. But as their affair becomes the subject of local gossip, Connie faces a life-altering decision: follow her heart or return to her husband and endure what Edwardian society expects of her. If you enjoyed the video, then don't forget to hit like and subscribe to our channel. Horror movies releasing in 2023, Part 1. 1. Megan. Megan plot follows the eponymous artificially intelligent doll who develops self-awareness and becomes hostile toward anyone who comes between her and her human companion. 2. Scanamrink. Two children wake up in the middle of the night to find their father is missing, and all the windows and doors in their home have vanished. 3. There's something wrong with the children. When Margaret and Ben take a weekend trip with longtime friends Ellie and Thomas and their two young children, Ben begins to suspect something supernatural is occurring when the kids behave strangely, after disappearing into the woods overnight. 4. Infinity Pool. While staying at an isolated island resort, James and Em are enjoying a perfect vacation of pristine beaches, exceptional staff, and soaking up the sun. But guided by the seductive and mysterious Gabi, they venture outside the resort grounds and find themselves in a culture filled with violence, hedonism, and untold horror. A tragic accident leaves them facing a zero-tolerance policy for crime. Either you'll be executed, or, if you're rich enough to afford it, you can watch yourself die instead. 5. Knock at the Cabin. While vacationing at a remote cabin, a young girl and her parents are taken hostage by four armed strangers, who demand that the family make an unthinkable choice to avert the apocalypse. With limited access to the outside world, the family must decide what they believe before all is lost. 6. Scream 6. Four survivors of the Ghostface murders leave Woodsboro behind for a fresh start in New York City. However, they soon find themselves in a fight for their lives when a new killer embarks on a bloody rampage. 7. The Pope's Exorcist. Inspired by the actual files of Father Gabriel Amorth, chief exorcist of the Vatican, The Pope's Exorcist follows Amorth as he investigates a young boy's terrifying possession and ends up uncovering a centuries-old conspiracy the Vatican has desperately tried to keep hidden. 8. Renfield. In this modern monster tale of Dracula's loyal servant, Nicholas Hoult stars as Renfield, the tortured aide to history's most narcissistic boss, Dracula. Renfield is forced to procure his master's prey and do his every bidding, no matter how debased. But now, after centuries of servitude, Renfield is ready to see if there's a life outside the shadow of the Prince of Darkness, if only he can figure out how to end his codependency. 9. Evil Dead Rise. In the fifth Evil Dead film, a road-weary Beth pays an overdue visit to her older sister Ellie, who is raising 3 kids on her own in a cramped LA apartment. The sisters' reunion is cut short by the discovery of a mysterious book deep in the bowels of Ellie's building, giving rise to flesh-possessing demons, and thrusting Beth into a primal battle for survival, as she is faced with the most nightmarish version of motherhood imaginable. 10. Beau is Afraid. A paranoid man embarks on an epic odyssey to get home to his mother in this bold and ingeniously depraved new film, from writer-director Ari Aster. If you enjoyed the video, then don't forget to hit like and subscribe to our channel.
Movies that were banned for being too disturbing. 1. Poughkeepsie Tapes. New York homicide investigators find hundreds of videotapes of torture, murder, and dismemberment showcasing a serial killer's work over decades. 2. A Serbian film. An aging porn star who's struggling to provide for his family agrees to make a film that, unbeknown to him, contains themes of pedophilia, necrophilia, and may end with his death. 3. Salo. A group of fascists round up 9 adolescent boys and girls and subject them to 120 days of physical, mental, and sexual torture. 4. Human Centipede 2. A depraved mama's boy goes on a killing and collecting spree to recreate the experiment portrayed in The Human Centipede. 5. I Spit on Your Grave. Jennifer, a writer, rents an isolated cabin in the country so she can work on her latest novel. The peace and quiet is soon shattered by a gang of local thugs who rape and torture her, then leave her for dead. But she returns for vengeance, trapping the men one by one. Jennifer inflicts pain on her attackers with a ferocity that surpasses her own ordeal. 6. The Exorcist. One of the most profitable horror movies ever made, this tale of an exorcism is based loosely on actual events. When young Regan starts acting odd, levitating, speaking in tongues, her worried mother seeks medical help, only to hit a dead end. A local priest, however, thinks the girl may be seized by the devil. The priest makes a request to perform an exorcism, and the church sends in an expert to help with the difficult job. 7. Possession. After Anna reveals to her husband, Mark, that she is having an affair, she leaves him and their son. Mark is devastated, and seeks out Heinrich, the man who cuckolded him, only to receive a beating. After a series of violent confrontations between Mark and Anna, Mark hires a private investigator to follow her. Anna descends into madness, and it's soon clear that she is hiding a much bigger secret, one that is both inexplicable and shocking. 8. Slender Man. Small-town best friends Holly, Chloe, Ren and Katie go online to try and conjure up the Slender Man, a tall, thin, horrifying figure whose face has no discernible features. 2 weeks later, Katie mysteriously disappears during a class trip to a historic graveyard. Determined to find her, the girls soon suspect that the legend of the Slender Man may be all too real. 9. The Bunny Game. A hitchhiking prostitute looking for her next meal gets a ride from a trucker, who leaves her praying for her next breath. 10. Hostel, Part 2. Beth, Lorna and Whitney, 3 young American women traveling abroad in Rome, decide to take a weekend excursion. Lured from their intended destination by a beautiful acquaintance, the women anticipate a stay at a luxurious spa. Instead, they become pawns in a grisly game, designed to entertain wealthy deviants from around the world.
If you enjoyed the video, then don't forget to hit like and subscribe to our channel.